good evening to you all. Today, we're talking about the 6th episode from Surah Al-Aaraf. And we removed whatever was in their hearts of resentment. Rivers will flow beneath them. And they will say, "Praise be to Allah, who has guided us to this. And we would never have been guided if Allah had not guided us. The messengers of our Lord certainly came with the truth. And it will be announced to them, this is paradise, which you have been made to inherit for what you used to do." The recitation. Ibn Amir used to recite it without the letter Vav, and so it would be Makuna. Like this, Makuna. This verse is connected to the one before it. Meaning, and we removed whatever was in their hearts. This is connected to those people, the ones who believed. Those one down there. And those who believed and did righteous deeds. We do not burden any soul beyond its capacity. Those are the companions of paradise. They will abide therein forever. Verse 42, which comes right before, is directly connected to 43, meaning, and we removed whatever was in their hearts. Those who believed and did righteous deeds. This refers back to the people in verse 42. Who are they? Those who believed and did righteous deeds. Just so you know the origin of the words, we have to connect the verses together. What does it mean? It means that God, yes, God, has removed what was in the hearts of those who believed, meaning he took out the enmity that was in their hearts during this world and admitted them to paradise. So what did they say? What was their reaction? What did they say? They said, "Praise be to God who guided us to faith, and as a result, we entered paradise." If it were for God's guidance, we would not have been guided. So that's it. That was the story. They're praising their Lord for the grace they're experiencing. That's the point. Because when the messengers came to them with the truth and told them the truth, and they believed in it in this world, they found this reward in paradise. The important thing is, God called out to them when they responded like that, meaning when they praised God and said, "Praise be to God who guided us to this, and we would not have been guided if God had not guided us." When they reacted that way, God called out to them and told them, "I have granted you this paradise because of your good deeds and because you followed whom? The messengers and prophets whom I sent." All right, fine. Who is the source here? It is Al-Wasit in the interpretation of the Quran by Sheikh Mohammed Syed Tandawi. The question here is, when did these events or this conversation between God and the believers take place? Was paradise on earth when this happened? When this conversation took place between them, or when these events occurred, was it in this world, or is it actually in the hereafter? Because the hereafter hasn't happened yet for all of this to take place. I mean, the biggest proof of what I'm saying is that the day of judgment hasn't happened. It hasn't happened yet, and that these events mentioned in the verse have already happened. All verbs are in the past tense. We removed, that's past tense. They said, "Praise be to God." They said, meaning, they actually said, that's it, praise be to God, we've entered paradise. Also, we would not have been guided, that's past tense too. Had it not been that God guided us, past tense. Indeed, the messengers of our Lord came with the truth, past tense. And they were called out, also a past tense verb. All of these are events that have already happened. Just so you know, the day of judgment hasn't even happened yet. People entered paradise in this world, so honestly, that's something we really needed to understand a bit more. That was really the question. When did these events actually take place? And when, where, and how did these people enter paradise? The next question says, "And they were called out." This phrase is in the passive voice, even though the one calling out is God himself. He is the one who called them and told them, I have granted you paradise because of your good deeds. So, why is they were called out phrased in the passive, when the caller is clearly known, which is God? I mean, the final point here is that we have removed it here. This means that it is God who removed the pronoun here, the first person pronoun. We removed refers to us, meaning God. That's clear. But when it says, and they said, then it's them who are speaking, not God. They are the ones speaking, and God is quoting them. That's the difference. There is a difference between saying something and quoting it. And the people of paradise will call out to the people of the fire, saying, we have indeed found what our Lord promised us to be true. So have you found what your Lord promised to be true? They said, yes. Then a caller among them proclaimed, the curse of God is upon the wrongdoers. The meaning is that when the people of paradise entered their paradise and enjoyed it, they asked the people of the fire, rebuking and mocking them, saying, we have found what our Lord promised us. You see, all the gardens, the bliss, and all that stuff. So did you also find what your Lord promised you? Punishment, fire, hell, and all that? So the people of the fire replied and said, yes, by God, we found it. It's a really tough situation here. Then a caller called out among them and said, the curse of God is upon the disbelievers, who are the wrongdoers, meaning the unbelievers. Okay, that's the source. Here is the journey in the science of interpretation of Ibn al-Jawzi. The truth is this a fictional scenario? So, did this happen? There is no imaginary scenario for what will happen or will happen on the day of judgment. Because, did this really happen in the world? People call each other and say, we found what we found. So that's the point of the verse. Yeah, did this actually happen or is it yet to happen? That was actually a very important question. The second question is about the distance. Pay attention. All the verbs here are in the past tense. Like, and he called, they called. But if the day of judgment hasn't even happened yet, and no one has entered hell or heaven, then how did they call out? You get what I mean. And the people of paradise called out, saying, we have found, see, some people found what their Lord had promised them. If paradise is the main thing, just so we're clear, what we were promised. See, that's also in the past tense, just to keep track of the timing. So, did you find, again, that's past tense, what your Lord promised you, a promise in the past? They said, see. He also said, they said, yes. He told them, yeah, we're in hell right now, because we didn't believe, you see, in what God, the fire, the darkness, the blazing inferno that God promised us. We found it. We were happy. He called out. Called is also a past tense verb. So this man called out, where? Here in this world, because the day of judgment hasn't happened yet. So, a caller called out, is this a scenario of what will happen? But even if it's a scenario, shouldn't it be in the future tense with future actions? And the people of paradise will call out to the people of the fire, and so on and so forth. The second question is that he describes them as wrongdoers, saying, God's curse is upon the wrongdoers. That's the caller. But how are they wrongdoers when they're already being judged in the fire? Let me give you an example. When two armies fight and go to war, and a group of fighters is captured, they're no longer called fighters. Negotiations for their return happen on the basis that they're prisoners. Their designation changes. These are people who are disbelievers and entered the fire. Supposedly, their description should change from wrongdoers to, for example, the people of the fire. No, he still curses them even while they're in the fire. You get what I mean? Their description should have changed. Those who turn people away from the path of God and seek to make it crooked, and who disbelieve in the hereafter. The meaning here is that this verse is describing the disbelievers themselves, these same disbelieving people, as those who turn people away from following God's law and what the prophets brought in terms of messages and all that. And they want the path to God to be crooked so that no one follows it. That's the point. And of course, in addition to that, they deny the hereafter. They just don't believe that there will be a meeting with God in the afterlife. Who's the source here? It's the abridged Tafsir ibn Kathir by al-Sabuni. Okay, so the question here is, I want to understand, these people have entered hell and their fate is sealed. So how is it that they're still turning people away, seeking to make things crooked, disbelieving, and all that? Look, they've already entered hell, and the caller has called out to them, saying, God's curse is upon the disbelievers. So these are the ones who turn people away. We've already counted 7 or 8 verbs in the past tense in the previous 44 verses. Let's go back again to the time after people have entered hell and are receiving their punishment, yet they're still turning people away from God's path and seeking to make it crooked. Honestly, this is a point that needed clarification, and between them is a barrier. And on the heights are men who recognize everyone by their marks, and they call out to the people of paradise, peace be upon you. They have not entered it, but they long to. What does this mean? It means that between heaven and hell there is a wall, a barrier, and on that wall stand people whose good deeds are equal to their bad deeds. These people are called the people of the heights, Al-Aaraf. So that's the verse, that's the topic. These people stand on the barrier wall between the people of paradise and the people of hell. They look at the people of paradise and at the people of hell. When they look at the people of paradise, their faces are bright and all that, and they greet them, saying, peace be upon you, and all those things. And they really hope to enter paradise themselves. That's the verse, but they haven't entered yet. They're just hoping. You see, they look again at the people of hell, with their dark faces, looking here and there. Their total deeds are balanced, meaning their good deeds are equal to their bad deeds. Their good deeds equal their bad deeds. They're on the edge, not able to enter paradise, nor hell. Some people say no. They say the people of Al-Aaraf aren't human. They're angels, they say. But we'll stick to verse and scholar's interpretation. Scholar, source, is Tafsir al-Adaya al-Abulyu al-Nihaya by Maki ibn Abi Talib. The real question is, why? Why is there this connection that, yes, people with light faces are those in paradise, or the people of paradise, and those whose faces are black? Are the people in hell? Why? Why is there this kind of association? You know, there are black people who are good people, after all. Okay, the text here also uses the verb in the past tense, and they called out means that they actually called out and it's over, meaning the event really happened, that the people of the heights stood on the wall, looking at the people of paradise and the people of hell, hoping to enter paradise and things like that. And when their eyes are turned towards the companions of the fire, they say, Our Lord, do not place us with the wrongdoing people. What does this mean here? It means that the people of the heights, when they looked to the other side, they looked at the people of paradise in the previous verse and hoped to enter paradise. Yeah, then they cast another glance over to the left side. So, they look at the people on the other side of the wall, and they pray to God that they won't end up with them, with the people of the fire. What's the source here? It's Al-Jami Liakam Al-Quran by Al-Qurtubi. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next Saturday. Goodbye.